Welcome to the Leo MonWell Podcast, where we talk about all things health, wellness, and success. For this episode, we have all three present. I, which you might not know about me, I'm the CEO and founder of an organization called Love Begins at Home. And it's a nonprofit 501c3, which means that it's governed by a board. And I have the fabulous, friendly, fantastic group of individuals that lead with me here tonight. So I'm the president, but I want to throw it to my vice president to introduce herself.
Hello, Leo.
Hey.
I'm so excited to be here tonight.
Listen,
today,
I begged for you
this
to
afternoon,
come.
this episode.
Yes, all times a day.
So my name is Adrain Lee. I am so proud to be the vice president of Love Begins at Home. I was so excited the day you walked into my office and we met. You told me your mission, your vision, your dream for the community, how we plan to uplift, educate, serve. I was so excited, and I am so happy that we're growing, and I'm so happy and proud to serve the community with our wonderful board. And so we have the greatest secretary.
Yes.
Hello. Well, hello, Leo.
Listen, that pause, if you didn't know, is because he'll introduce himself. He's a legacy, but he's been multiple positions on this board. He's a legacy. So it was, is he and what is he doing today is only the question. So,
Well, hello, Secretary. I am Tirrell Wilkerson, and then this is just, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited, a little nervous, but excited all at the same time. I've been with you since the conception. I remember when it was just a thought in your head.
yes.
And now look at the fruition of what you've done and what we've done and how we are just collaborating and making waves. So I'm glad to be here. And I hand it over to the wonderful treasurer.
So hello, I am the treasurer. My name is Mylika Morton. I am both CPA and attorney. Leo recently gave me a title. It
Yes.
is the
CFO.
One time.
yes, CFO, but there's an unofficial title. I am the
Oh, get ready for this. She is the magistrate of money.
There it is.
Listen.
Yes. So, we need receipts, we need documentation, we are going to stay in compliance so that Love Begins at Home can continue to do the wonderful work that needs to be done in the community. So I handle the behind the scenes so that Love Begins at Home can continue to work with the patients and continue to serve the community.
I love that. Thank you for that because we got the magistrate here. And then literally, so we have the magistrate of money, we have the queen of clinical, and I did not give you an eloquent name, but by the end of this episode, we will name him on the spot. The thing is that the hard thing about Tirrell being on the set is he's a legacy. He's been everything. He's been the VP, he's been the treasurer, he's been the secretary. Yeah. So it's like, man, you're everything. You're the all-star.
Let me start sweating and
Listen,
So
I
thank
love
you,
it.
Thank you.
I love all of you being here, and I love all of you supporting the journey in which each of you have been a part of, like literally. So, beginning. Right? We were there from beginning, inception, right? We were even partnering on some other social events throughout social groups, doing community outreach and engagement events back then, right? That led me to the domino effect of walking into Miss Lee's office, Adrian, throwing this out to her about the community and what we want to do. And then recently, in the past years, it's been like, I think 3 years maybe. Yeah. And then we met Mylika, who's now elevated to our CFO. So we're restructuring our company and bringing this governance further and further to the community. So we're at year 5. We're coming up on year 5. And I don't want this episode of this podcast to be about me. I want it to be about my board. And if it wasn't for them being in their different roles and supporting, this company would have been not here. And I say that on everything because the thing is, Tirrell has supported me, Adrian has supported me, Mylika has supported me in all these conversations, even when I am being in my head, venting, and they're just like, it's okay, Leo. It's okay. Don't let them get under your skin. But let me throw it out to first, Adrian. What is the power of this organization? Why are we here?
So the passion that I have is probably going to start pouring out because my mission. I had the opportunity to watch other cultures really embrace their poorest, they're most vulnerable. And I was so touched by it. I was like, I need to go home and I need to do this in my community and I need to do that for people that look like me and just wrap my arms around each and every one of those people. And so I did that wholeheartedly. Like, I just want to love you. I just want to take care of you. I just want to make sure that you have understanding of your health, your wellness, and how to care for yourself. However, I found that that is not something that you can do if you don't have the financial footing. It won't take long that you'll be, one of those people that also need help.
Yeah.
And so when you walked in and you were like, I have a way that we can help these people really empower their lives and we can keep it going, not just when you run out of money or when the people run out of money. Like, we have a way to keep this thing going and really support the community in a positive way. I was so excited about it, but then to watch it, even as often as today, we have so many inside jokes, Wonder Twin Powers, activate, constantly we have these things going on that we bend over backwards, forwards, sideways, left, right, up and down to make sure that people have the things that they need and that they have a fighting chance with their health. So I have stories on top of stories. This thing can go on forever. Yeah. But,
so
most recently, mission and margin. This is one lesson that I had to learn the hard way. I'm sitting beside the magistrate of money. So I had to understand how the money works.
As she looks like, yes. Magistrategly.
Let's get this right. Because literally, I have a heart that I will give you everything, but you can't pour from an empty cup, and then you can only help a few. Okay, so that mission that I have is great, and I think everything that's good that you came along with Love Begins at Home to help support that. Mylika helped us get a better understanding of how to make the money work. Like, let's be smart. I'm gonna be in my soft girl era.
Yes.
I'm going to let these kings come out and do what they need to do because I have all the love, but I'm going to let the magistrate money make this money happen. I'm going to follow your lead so that we can continue to help this thing grow because we got lots of people to take care of.
Yes, I love that. How do you feel being in a doctoral program and coming into this year of this board and taking on a deeper role in growing it, like growing what we're talking about here? Because we can't, like Adrian said, we can't grow our love for the community without the monetary ability to do so.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Checks and balances is something that we all need. We all need someone to keep us accountable. And so the magistrate of money keeps us accountable in the financial area. But how do we keep ourselves accountable among the people that we work with in teamwork? How do we make sure what we're doing as a organization is in alignment? Because it's so easy to set visions and missions and then you go back and look at it and see that you're totally out of sync. So when you have evaluations, and that's what I bring to the table as a doctoral student, is that I'm looking at how can we evaluate what we're doing? How can we make sure that, one, we are in sync and in line? And then how do we determine our return on investment? And we often think return on investment is only monetary. And in truth, it is, but it's also in people and in our efforts. So how do we see the things we love to do in hard and soft data? How can we gauge that? And that's what I'm here to bring, to show our funders and our stakeholders, okay, this is what we're doing, not only on a monetary level, but this is what we give to the community. And this is how, if you take what we are, if you take all that we give that no one talks about, this is what you should be paying. This is the return on investments. This is what we bring and this is what we give. So that is something I'm excited to showcase, because home and we as partners and team workers, our teammates rather, we bring so many skill sets to the table. And so let's showcase that. And not in a haughty way, but let's showcase what we do and what we give other than just the fiscal or the monetary component of it.
I love it.
I like that.
And the thing is, So, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you in your doctoral program for education?
Yes.
Right? So, I think we just named him. I think we have our leader of learning here. Right? Listen,
I like.
I mean, and the thing is, if you haven't heard him speak before tonight, you can see there's a leader of learning right then and there. Man, you dropped bombs on me the other day, right? And that's the thing about it. Education. So the leader of learning. So this is your governance. When you have a service, any type of connection with Love Begins at Home, you have the leader of learning over here, right? You have our queen of clinical, the magistrate of money, and my job is now transitioning out of case management into the pharaoh of funding.
Come on, Pharaoh.
Okay.
So I gotta get things in here to sustain this house, right? Because if this house isn't strong, how can we serve the community? And the thing is that's unique, and I'm gonna throw this out to you. There are a lot of communities that are going through a lot of things, but there's intersectionality, things on top of things that we as Black people in this Black community have to deal with.
Sure.
So, can you impart some knowledge on us about like economic stability and how that influences one's mission?
Absolutely. I will share, I attended a capacity building workshop some years ago for nonprofits. And I love something that one of the speakers said. She said, nonprofit is truly just a tax designation. It should not describe your bottom line.
Ooh.
So yes, nonprofits do not exist to enrich the founder or the owner. The purpose is to fund the mission, but you need to be able to fund the mission. If there are no finances, if there is no money, the mission cannot move forward. And then you can't get the true return on investment, right? So you want the funding so that you can get the true return on investment, healthy individuals getting the health care that they need and that they would not otherwise have access to.
Yes.
So absolutely. And then when you add on the fact that we're nonprofit, and then on top of that, we are a predominantly Black nonprofit. There's systemic racism. We can't get around that in this country, unfortunately. There are issues of, are you guys going to really handle the money? Do you have the expertise? There's a trust factor.
Yes.
So there's a lot of factors that go into. However, Love Begins at Home is doing a phenomenal job of existing and thriving in spite of.
Yes.
Look at this board. Look at who's here.
Yeah.
Phenomenal expertise, phenomenal brain trust to entrust and to make sure that the mission continues to move forward.
Black excellence, period. And what does that encompass, right? When people throw that title around, I feel like there's not enough like stank on it, right? And so for this board, let me tell you, everyone on this board has a master's degree or higher, right? And the thing about it is we special in multiple things, right? We have accountant attorney. I have 3 bachelor's degrees. You're in urban development. Social
Science, urban development, education, cosmetology.
33 years of nursing.
Yes.
So literally the brain trust, I love that word, the brain trust that goes into the healthcare of Love Begins at Home, all of our outreach activities, you're getting real quality when you're teaming up with us, right? Because you're not purchasing something from this organization, right? Like when we give you a service, we're giving you us. Like we're such small and like we're so small, like I'm sure at big organizations, if you can insert any of them, they have to schedule meetings no, we're calling them. We're on phone calls, and I know the hell out of these people, and just I pray to God and I thank the Lord that I have these people as my board because I know I'm annoying because and it's okay. Listen, we don't have to defend nothing, but that's the thing is, and I think being a medical social worker, being a success coach, right? You have to know the good and bad, and what makes you love what makes me love you guys, right? More than anything else is the fact that we have accepted each other warts and all, right? I still love you, and you have, 5 minutes for me, but you give me the 5 minutes. You be like, I know you be looking at that phone like, I'm busy today, and you be like, I got 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'll take it. Listen, me and this woman go head to toe. Right, we're toe to toe. Like, and there isn't nothing but love here. But I think the thing that always needs to be told between me and Adrian's relationship is it's a fight all encompassing in love.
Yes.
It's fighting over how much care, how much love, how much we can give each other, the community.
Right.
It's a fight for love. Like, there's never a fight for pain. It's always built about love.
That is correct.
Period. I look to you for safety, security, and always compassion. And you give that, it's a wealth. So we have so much years, right? Literally, I think I was looking back, we've known each other since 2017?
Yeah.
2017? And the education and everything that you've given me, like, I'm telling you, didn't they say you should have been a pastor?
You know what? We're not gonna do that. We're not. But look, but if it calls, then it calls. But we ain't. But you said something. You said it's all in love. But
Yes.
without love, it's just noise.
That's right. Wow.
So whatever you do, you should have some level of love to it, and we as a board have to represent that. You know, my grandmother used to say, "Teeth and tongue fall out."
You better say that, Grandma.
Teeth and
Yeah.
tongue.
Wow.
So you know how you bite your tongue or you chew your teeth like.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they be mad for a minute, but then they come back together because they're gonna chew their food.
Oh,
They're
wow.
gonna digest it. They're gonna, do what it needs to do. So even with that, we may not always see eye to eye, and that means if we always see eye to eye, somebody ain't thinking for themselves.
Exactly.
Somebody's not being accountable. And even now, you know what, Ty, you was a little off. Let's recalibrate. But going back to because I go way low for here.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
You just hit us like right on time.
But I love that teeth and tongue, they bite and they fall back, And like, I think it's so powerful because it's like these conversations, these frictions, right? If they weren't about passion, this company would have been dried up. It'd have been dried up. I'm telling you, and I wouldn't partner with any other people because the thing is, they hold me accountable. They keep this company inspired. Like, I'm telling you, you coming on with your skills, everything is in a row. Look to that leadership, being a part of this as a CFO. I'm telling you, you piss me off, but I love that you do. Because it's like, the thing is, it's like, she's like, but no, we got to take care of these people. And I'm like, but girl, we got to pay the bills. She's like, but I wouldn't choose it. If I was in ICU, fighting for my life, wouldn't pick anybody else. Would not pick anybody else. So I'm telling you, that's what the thing is. I'm happy that you pissed me off.
Of course.
I'm happy.
Yes, of course.
So I say it in love. And, Ty, my glass about to fall up and I'm about to fall off. It's like, in Ty, I think with us, it's like, it's just been, I keep going back to the learning aspect of it because it's been a journey of conversation, right? And just really licking our wounds and being like, okay, well, I didn't agree with your points, but, this is kind of how I saw it. And maybe I wasn't in a place.
And sometimes you're not. Because sometimes what somebody's telling you, it is too much to swallow. So we have to sometimes say, you know what? That's good. I ain't ready for it though. And it's saying that I acknowledge that what you give me may be good for me, but I can't palate it right now. And so when we are communicating, it lets the person that's giving that advice or that feedback saying, it lets them know, okay, they hear me, but they're not in a place to receive it or to go through that process. And it's okay to let them sit there and digest it.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you, that is so amazing because he is so emotionally intelligent and I'm so emotionally immature. So I'm growing just sitting beside him.
You mean do you mean you're learning?
The leader of learning over here. I'm just sitting by you. I just feel so much more demure and poised and all of this good stuff. Because I'll throw a tantrum and fight for my patients, but I'm doing it all in love. And you know that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I think it's important for us to make people really understand what we're doing here.
So Lee, let's go.
Yeah, so what we are actually doing here with this company is helping this community afford the best medications that there are available.
Yes.
When I met you, and we were talking, and I told you that there are some really great medications that I can't prescribe for these people because they literally just cannot afford them. Even in the hospital, and I do work at the hospital, when we discharge the patients, we want to give the patients the best medications that's available. However, you give them the prescription and then the patients come back to the hospital and we find out what happened. Why didn't you take your medicine? You're being non-compliant. You're not listening to me. Yep. How many times does that happen? Yep. Then these people have to decide, can I afford this $200 copay for this medication? Do I need to pay my light bill?
Wow.
Yes.
Do I need to feed my children? Or can I pay this copay to go follow up with this cardiologist? Yes. So what we are doing here is providing people with the opportunity to do both. Love Begins at Home helps support the medical needs of this community. That's what we do.
Yes. I love that. And it's, when you talk about the medications, we make it so convenient, it comes to your door.
Yes.
Tell them about that. Tell them about being on this board and what that means, that we deliver it to the door.
So, I know people say, the proof is in the pudding. So therefore, you ever been in an organization or you've been with some people that say, oh yeah, you do this and try this and it's going to change your life. You better get this prayer cloth. All these things, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to attack any religious, I was just being a little silly, but you have people who tell you to try things without being the first partaker, being the first fruit of it. And so when I get a chance to advocate and speak about home and the medication process and the delivery, I speak from a place of confidence because I get my medicine. And so that experience is good for me. I'm one of those people, you work all day. Yes. You got things to do. You may be a parent. You may not be a parent. You may just be a just very productive or busy person. And it's not that you don't want to, but sometimes things can just slip the mind. Right. So to have that access to come home and your medicine right there at your door, and you just bend down, you pick it up, you go in, you get them shoes off, and it's there. Yeah. And not having to say, I gotta run back out to Walgreens or the CVS or with whoever your provider is and get this. It's right there for you. So it alleviates forgetfulness, inconvenience of having to, leave your home if you do forget. And again, the assistance in affording these high-priced medications, that's a perk in its own. Yes. But to me, when I get home, I like to be home. So the perk to me is that I like to come home and it's right there. Because I don't like to go back out the door once I'm in the house.
So you can be anywhere essentially and receive this care, right? It can show up at your door, right? Do you meet your provider at Love Begins at Home, at your home?
Look, I am the spokesperson. Come see me. I'm gonna tell you, I am a benefactor of the services. Yes, I do. Oh. I'm sitting right next to the
And I need to join.
Yeah. Listen.
I need to follow suit. So I was sharing with Leo my frustration with a particular big box pharmacy that I will not share the name of. And the fact that, so I am diabetic, I've been diabetic all of my adult life. And so it's very important that I receive my medications on time. Yes. And how many times, one day I went to this particular retail store and it was during their operating hours. And I pull up and I see people like walking up and turning around. I'm like, are they closed? And somebody's like, yeah, they're closed. Literally, there was just a sign on the door. No one was there. Like the store was just closed. And I'm like, okay, what if I were really in dire straits? Right. What if I didn't have my insulin for the day? Like, what if I had absolutely no reserves to get me through another few days? So Leo has been like, okay, you sit on the board of an organization that can have your prescriptions delivered to your home. What are you waiting on? Like, what are you waiting on? So yeah, I will be reaching out to you to get, yes.
Do you think that comes from a loyalist mindset where we get so comfortable?
Wow.
Or that
you didn't have to step on my toes like that. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do
But I think you're all guilty of it. Like, you're so used or you get complacent or comfortable with the routine and it's like, I know this is better for me. And, Leo, we've had this conversation. I know this is better for me, but and there really should be no but. It should be just switch over. But it's that herd loyalist or just
Right.
complacent kind of
Yes.
mindset that
Correct.
sometimes, including myself, we all kind of have to shake that.
Yes, yeah, just get stuck in routine.
Wow.
Sometimes lack of true understanding. Lack of understanding that, yes, I can come and see our queen of clinical, and I still will be able to see all of the specialists that I currently, see.
That is great.
It's just a new coordination of care.
That's the new coordination of care. And it's so funny because he is so poised. I'm telling you, my mom is so happy that I'm sitting beside you and like taking young lady, this is how you behave and this is how you communicate appropriately. Because I'm like, I got a bunch of ratchet stories about people that don't want to act right and still want to go and get their medication and have to wait 5 days and go back to the pharmacy 5 times when you can get your medication to the front door. And I'm like, why you do that?
Yeah, no car, but literally we're fighting to get you somewhere. Like, it's like we're trying to get it to you. Why are you fighting to get it somewhere? Let's make your life. But the thing is, I have
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I had to take a step back mentally because it's like you just kind of pointed out, the three of us, right? Even with our masters, even with all of our education, we still have some of the similar bad habits of our patients. And the thing is, that's what connects us too. And it also might be rooted in some of our identity and lack of trust with the healthcare center as Black people. So, that might be why, we're like,
And stigma, because we teach that, we should be tribal or we should come together. And to me, I'm going to say, go where the services are good and that they're going to treat you right, regardless of race. I am tribal, I am pro, but go where you're going to be truly serviced, valued, and respected. But I think sometimes with this, it goes back to stigma too. I'm so scared that someone that looked like me is going to go blurt something about my business that I would rather refuse your service or shy away from your assistance because I'm in my head. What if she know me? What if she know my kinfolk? What if she see my chart and something, So it still has that underlying stigma that is tied to it, which hopefully we can continue to fight against and break. But I've encountered that when we talk about why people of color shy away from going to see other practitioners of color.
Yeah. And I think having the history and the experience and the wealth of knowledge that we have as a group is so important to what we bring to this community. But also too, Ty and I right now both see Miss Lee. She's our primary care provider, Adrian. She sees both of us, right? And soon to be Mylika, so all three of us. So we vet the service. I, for now, and will probably always serve some capacity as case manager. I'm a medical social worker, and so is Ty. And the thing about it is we do case management, and now we have a component of peer services that's coming on. So before we talk about that, do you think, and this is going to sound shady towards me, and I take the accountability on it.
Oh boy.
Do you think that had you not come along in this new CFO role, that home would survive much longer? Just being honest.
Oh wow, that's a heavy question. Would home have survived much longer? So I'll say this: there's home, the entity, the financial infrastructure, and then there's home, the human resources. And if you don't invest properly in the human resources, as you said earlier, you can't pour from an empty cup. I think you were saying it in the context of finance, but it also applies to your mental, emotional capacity as well. And so I think that me coming along on board as CFO, yes, is helping bring some structure for the financial infrastructure, but hopefully it's going to take some stress off of your plate as CEO so that you expand your bandwidth and you get some of your bandwidth back. When we are leaders, because each of us, we're leaders in our own right, separate and apart from the board. When we lead and we have our own businesses, our own organizations that we lead, we give it everything. We give it our all. And sometimes we don't have appropriate boundaries. And so we continue to push our limitations. So that's why we have those conversations where we have to encourage Leo, hey, don't let this get under your skin. Hey, back away. Why am I getting an email from you that's timestamped 2 a.m.? And why am I getting an email from you that's timestamped 2 a.m.? Like, really?
Really?
Because I'm falling apart.
And it's like, well, if you fall apart, then you're right. Home is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's sure, we're bringing in the financial infrastructure, but it's hopefully to bring in the human resource support as well.